Well, hello there. Welcome to another Shantytown devlog. Shantytown is a compact city block building game where you place items according to adjacency bonuses to create dioramas and save them in a scrapbook. In this devlog, I'm going to look a little further into the narrative evolution that came up with the last devlog. But first, I got a bit of feedback from different people that the game doesn't look great visually. I noticed that over time the game got more and more yellow. Like that era of gaming in the early 2000s, it kind of just crept up on me and I didn't see it coming. Now I can't unsee it and decided to correct it. And one day I went out for a coffee and sitting at a regular cafe drinking regular cup of coffee, I thought to myself, I should bring back the outlines. I found a really cool watercolor filter effect made by this Japanese guy, so I decided to see if I could get that effect in my game, Google translating his blog post. After adding some color correction, bringing back the outlines I created in devlog 2, I added a vignette. I started by trying to overlay a watercolor filter, but it looks like I got too much water and not enough color. I kept trying and trying, but I couldn't make sense of the massive amount of code going on behind the scenes. Plus, as I mentioned in devlog 1, I really feel like materials are my weak point, so I decided to do what any great artist would. I thought I'd just fake it. I decided to scrap that effort and instead go for a paper texture to the material in-game. And then I thought I could heat map the shadows of the game and overlay the shadows with the different hatching sketches. But even that I backtracked on as it doesn't look very natural. In my experience as a game developer, an important skill is realizing the moment something is good enough and then moving on. I'm sure I'll come back to this again later. Focusing too much time on fiddly things can lead to frustration and mental blocks. Come back to it with a clear mind and you'll find the solution is right in your face. But as you can probably see, I myself have been making very gradual progress recently. Sometimes progress just feels more gradual than it is, as not all progress is visual. At the end of my last devlog, I came up with a framing to put the entire game into a book and build a story around it. So I did. There are chapters, and you discover parts of the story as you go along, occasionally taking breaks to build an environment, and then you continue on the story. I created a world with environmental disasters that cause mass migrations, corporations and governments fighting for power, and a group of 6 characters how they grew up with each other, changed over their lives, and the struggles along the way. I read books on storytelling beats, how to make compelling characters, and then I realized it doesn't really work.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
There's too much separation between the actions you take while placing objects and the story in the book. There's no natural connection at all. Imagine this, there's a murder mystery and we know the murder weapon and the murderer is... And now we have to build 3 cafes to find out.
You serious?
I think I could make it work and I think it would be interesting, but I'd really have to force it. Basically, I was worried that whoever liked one aspect of the game would dislike the other. The worst part about playing a Spider-Man game is when you're not playing as Spider-Man. That's not why you're there. So I'd hate to see people skim through the one part just to see the other. Here's another example. Mass Effect is an incredibly compelling story game, but every time you have to scan a planet...
Ain't nobody got time for that!
So I decided to double down on the focus of the game. Make the game about building dioramas. Simplify. Instead of a scrapbook, you'll have a big map. Something like the map in Baba Is You, with multiple regions that you can focus on individually, each with the goal of what type of area you're building.
Keep it secret.
I can still keep all the world building I created and have bits of lore about locations, but it won't be a critical part of the game. This is a sad thing to let go of, because I was really looking forward to the opportunity to make a story game. And recently playing Baldur's Gate 3 got me even more inspired. But at the end of the day, this isn't the game for that, so there's no point in trying to force it. Let's see if I change my mind by the next devlog. It's been over 2 months since the last devlog. As I've been going in circles with this issue for a while, it's time to start buckling down and getting things done. My next goal is to have a demo of the game done by December. You think it's possible? If you hit the subscribe button, I'm assuming it'll let you know when the next video is out, and you can collect your bets then. Until then, goodbye.